first or boom first?
Well, I find that as soon as the pole's off the mast, you have to get the boom across. Because if you haven't got the mainsail across, the spinnaker will collapse.
So a question I get asked a lot is to take the guy off the pole or the pole off the mast first.
I always did pull off the mast first. I guess I can speak from all the positions because I've done the foredeck bit and I've done the trimming bit. And I would be pull off the mast and then straight off. So I would do a down and then up when I had to flick it off.
Where you stood?
Where I stood?
No,
where I stood. At that point I am standing, right, let's see something. At that point I'm probably standing on the leeward side, just behind the mast and behind the boom. So I've got it there so that once the jibe comes through I'm then on the windward side. I've got
Facing
it
backwards.
No, I'm facing forwards.
Forwards.
I'm facing forwards.
You're
So
back
I
on
would
the
be,
mast.
yeah, I'd have my back on the mast. I think that's what I used to do. I'm trying to remember now. I think that's what I used to do. And then, because then I've got easier movement if I can just flick it off with my, if I'm going from starboard to port, I can just flick it off there, down and up, and then just feed it straight through. And I can easily get to, because what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to get to the new guy. And if I'm over on the, if I'm on the windward side, I've got to get myself further over to there. If I'm in that position, I can hold myself there and stay there the whole time, which means I'm doing less movement, which means I'm putting less movement through the boat. And all the manoeuvres, everything you're trying to do, you're trying to keep as little movement and as little things as you can. I mean,
So you're facing forwards, but sort of alongside the mast.
yeah, if this is the mast, I'd be standing here. I'd be standing right here with the boom kind of coming across there, so I'd be there, just flick it off and then just go straight across that way, and I can get there. If I can reach the guy and get it in, fine. But sometimes if the wind's strong enough and there's enough tension on the sheet, I'll just hit it with the pole. I'll just find it with the pole rather than actually feeding it in with my hand.
So would that be your preference to go for fish for it as opposed to
yeah, if it's not with an easy reach and there's plenty of pressure on the sheets, there's no reason why you can't just flick it down and just hit it straight on. But again, that's usually down to the fact that you practice it a lot with the guy that's trimming, and they keep the kite steady.
And they've probably got the tweakers down at the guardrails just.
Tweakers at half, I think.
Yeah.
Tweakers go to half at that point. So it's just nice and loaded, and then you can find it and then push it through. But I always think the key for any manoeuvre is that you actually try and move around the boat as little as possible, which is why I stick myself down on the leeward side to start with if I can, so I don't have to do any real movements. Then I can just sit myself straight back down at the mast and go from there.
So it's off, on, and so the spinning flies poleless for a short time. And to answer your question, when does the boom come across in your?
I feel the boat bear away, and as I feel the boat bear away, that's when I take the pole off. I don't wait for them to tell me anything. I just kind of feel it as the boat's going. So as the boat bears away, I take the pole off the mast. I'll maybe tell. I don't know. Did I tell you the pole's coming off the mast? Sometimes I don't know. And then I just go from there. And then I just carry on my manoeuvre. I don't really pay any attention to what's going on behind me.
No, I understand your Forex explanation very clearly, but I'm still not clear at what stage would the boom come across as a helm.
So I guess we might do things differently, but I guess my style is to try and get the boat to be almost at the downwind, dead downwind, as the pole's coming off. So that as the pole's coming off, I pull the boom over at the same time.
So pole come off the mast, boom comes across.
Yeah.
They probably almost happen in unison.
Yeah.
I would say.
However, the windier it gets, sometimes it's okay just to get the boom across.
Yeah.
And worry about the pole after.
Yeah.
Get the boom across, get the boat settled with the tweakers on half, and then worry about the pole.
Yeah. And
because if the boat starts to slow down and you start to panic about, we haven't quite got the pole off yet. Well, let's wait. As soon as that boat starts to slow down, then you've got more weight on the main sheet, so it's going to be harder to pull it across. And then when it does come across, it might slam. And if it does slam, then depending on waves and your positioning with the wind, you could end up going into a broach. So I guess for me, whether the pole comes off or not, then it's hopefully at the point that the pole is coming off. But if the pole gets jammed for whatever reason, I'm still going with the boom and worry about the pole afterwards.
And would you sheet the main sheet in a little bit, or would you just leave it right out?
And I think that's maybe the difference with our style. I don't know if Stuart does or not, but I'm stood up, so I'm holding on to the sheet straight from the boom, and I'm taking, as the sheet goes from the blocks up through one of the blocks in the boom, I've just chosen whether I'm using the front ones or the back ones. I'm taking the sheet from both, either side of one of the blocks, and I've just got it clamped in my hand, so it's basically one to one. So it's just it's essentially just having one piece of string at that point on the boom, and I do that all the way down wind where it's a dead downwind, and unless of course we're reaching. But typically I just do that all the way downwind, and then pull it through when we get to the mark for going back upwind. But Stuart, I don't know what to use.
Well, not do it exactly the same, but on the jibe, certainly you've got to physically grab a hold of all the sheets and pull the boom in and move them across, and you've got to be sure of your tiller at this point as well. This is the tricky bit, because usually everybody else is busy doing other things. You don't have anybody to help. Sometimes you might have a spare hand who will not be able to lend any purchase, so you have to actually physically get the sail across yourself and not make a contour of the steering. So sometimes I have the tiller between my legs, I think.
Right, thingy style. But you wouldn't sheet the main sheet in at all to stop it from kind of doing that big.
Well,
Slam
enough so
over.
as it doesn't hit the shroud badly.
And remembering to cleat the track so it doesn't slam
Yes,
right on
yeah.
the track. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
This might have been mentioned last week, so I apologise if it's already been asked. What roles do you guys use when downwind and upwind? So what are the different positions on the boat? Because I've been experimenting the last couple of years with what different people are doing. So do you have someone whose job it is to do the guy, or is it the spinning trimmer that does
Spinning trimmer
both?
does both, and that kind of finishes off kind of the talking about through the jibe, and the person that's doing the spinning trimming at that point, his goal is to keep the spinnaker from behind the mainsail at all times and out to the opposite side from the mainsail. So as he's bearing off downwind, he's kind of you're letting the sheet off and pulling the guy on a wee bit, and then as the boom starts to, as you recognise the boom starts to flick across, he's then got to shift the spinnaker around to the other side, because that's when you find the spinnaker collapses if it gets in behind the mainsail. So you've got to, as the boat jibes round, you've got to rotate the spinnaker round so that it always stays, so it moves over to the other side of the boat when you come around, just to keep yourself nice, free and clear, and that makes it a lot easier to keep the spinnaker flying through the jibe. And I always maybe try and let both sheets out a wee bit just to get it a little bit further away from the boat, just to give myself that extra.
So you say one person's controlling the sheet
Yeah,
and the guy, I quite understand that,
The person who does the kite trim will take the guy off the guy. The
Does
guy's
both,
usually
yeah.
probably cleared, to be honest, and he'll just take both. He or she'll take both, and he'll just stand in the centre of the boat and just
move it round,
and just move it around. Yeah.
So there's a lot of coordination, because
Yeah, there's a
you
lot of
can feel
coordination.
that
That's
it's just
again,
moving it.
yeah, you can just see it. But if the person that's doing that, they've got no other job whatsoever. They just mind the head and the boom when it comes across, and just they're staring at the kite the whole time.
So even if it was really windy.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends on the strength of that person then.
Yeah.
Some people
It
would
might be on
able
2
to-
winches at that point.
You need to
But-
just use the winches as
But if it's really windy, you're hoping that you're going really fast, and therefore there's not going to be a huge amount of weight. And at that point, it's not as big a deal to get it round behind the mainsail, because there's enough wind to keep the spinnaker filled the whole way through. You just lock it in place and hold it there, because they're not really going to, because the helms aren't using too much tiller through the jibe. If you just lock the spinnaker down, it's going nowhere. And if you start playing around too much, that's when you'll lose it. I would probably slightly oversheet on both sides, just to make sure it's properly locked down at that point.
if it's windy.
If it's windy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just get it dead central.
Yeah, get it dead central, get it locked in, and then once the guy that pulls back on everything's set, then I'll ease everything off again and get us back up to pace.
So you're sailing dead downwind at this point. You make it really easy for the crew to be able to do that, the trimmer to be able to do that.
I would tend to hold the trimmer responsible for allowing the bowman to get hold of the guy,
Yeah.
to put it on physically by hand, rather than we're all a bit older than you, and having the bowman sort of weaving around with the pole trying to catch a guy isn't going to happen.
Yeah. No,
Also
absolutely.
then trying to get the pole back onto the
Yeah.
mast. If the
Yeah.
trimmer has
Sometimes
got,
takes two, doesn't it?
well, if the trimmer's got the new guy too tight, then when the guy in the mast is trying to push the pole out and